Hello, everyone, and welcome to Challenge 18 weekly webinar. And today we have with us as a guest speaker, Uri Noy Meir, and he is a social art facilitator. What does it mean? This is what we are going to explore. He leads and supports creative teams and projects worldwide to lead socially aware leaders in their lives and work. So that's more or less about Uri, and now we're going to explore. So hello, Uri, how are you?
Hi, Sharon, מה נשמע? How are you?
Great to see you. So what does it mean, like art facilitator, and for how long have you been facilitating art? And maybe you could explain so we would better understand what is it that you do.
Yeah, I think you were reading from my digital garden and that I'm working on and working on a book. And I share there in the beginning a story, which is a memory, but is a memory that maybe is a memory. It's like this one of these memories. And in this memory, I'm on the second grade in my school in the Golan Heights.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in a bomb shelter because some of the classroom are in bomb shelters. And we didn't have drama class, but we definitely had music class. But in this memory, we have this drama class in the music class. And in that, what I remember is that we are doing this imaginary game, where we are and I'm leading everyone in this imaginary world, and we're under the chairs, and, I'm inventing a world. And sometimes after I do a good workshop, I reminded of that moment, of that memory, and I realized that that's what I do, and that's what I did since I was 7 years old or before. The social arts facilitator for me is someone that is able to invite people to an imaginary world of possibility in situations that are usually so, maybe for children is more natural, but already on the second grade, especially in a place that is kind of closed, it's start to close down the gate of play and free form play. But for adults, a lot of us, our imagination got kind of locked into very narrow places.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel the arts, the games, the play is an opportunity to expand into this possibility, to imagine new possibilities. And for me, art, or at least the art that I do, is not about the finished product or the entertainment, but is the process of becoming aware
Mm-hmm.
collectively of ourselves.
I see. So when, like, going back to when you were the age of 7 in the shelters, do you refer this as a trauma and
No, it's a beautiful memory. It's one of my best memories. uh, you know, it was a bomb shelter in the sense that in my school, some of the classrooms were bomb shelters,
Mhm.
but that's just the reality in Israel. And when you are 7 years old, you never think about it. It's not something you are worried about. It's if you are in a bomb shelter or not. Bomb shelters were just one of the classrooms, and the library was in a bomb shelter. It is, of course, connected with the collective trauma that maybe people in Israel and I
Yeah,
was living through, which is we are not aware of how much war is embedded in the architecture of life. But for me, it's actually a memory in which I and this group of children, we kind of go. So it was a bomb shelter, but it wasn't, it was an imaginary world of possibility at the same time.
that's
So
amazing. Like to like, I mean, to as a child to be able to imagination is your wings. As a child to be able to be in such a place, that links us to war and bombs and just create a whole new kingdom out of your imagination and telling that this is one of your most beautiful memories. So that's really amazing and amazing now at the age of 7, like um you were affected, and by in school, and to develop your career in play and theater, and that's, I think that's amazing. Um,
Yes, and it wasn't like very common in my school. Like it's probably the only time that we had
uh,
something like this. But I feel like, so in this digital garden, the book on the theater that reconnects, I speak about the gift, and the gift is this thing that we are born with, we're born into. It's this talent, it's this something that we're giving to us
mhm,
as a talent. So in this memory, I feel I am reminded of my gift, and the gift, it has to do with imagination and about leading people into this imaginary landscape. So so I feel within whatever the role that I cover right now, a facilitator, entrepreneur, uh, in the essence, I feel it has to do with this gift, with this ability to invite people to this imaginary scenario. And from that imaginary scenario, hopefully create new possibilities, because it's only when we imagine that we can create something new. We first need to imagine something
absolutely,
before it becomes true.
absolutely. It's like each one of us has its zone of genius. It's a gift. A gift also is present, and then be present in a way. But I think it's more than that. It's like each of us is born, with a unique talent, and I don't know, maybe the educational systems, it kind of condition us to, just to be like everyone else rather than the true original version of yourself. Um, and yes, like, just remember, we all have a gift. Just being born is a gift, and maybe you wanna like share a story that links to the gift, like, you know I'm sure there are many mythological stories that kind of emphasize that life is a gift. I think for example, all these stories about Aladdin and the lamp, or the golden fish, and that you have these kind of wishes, right? This is life. Like, I mean, there is endless, at any given moment, there are endless wishes that you could ask the genie, the universe, or the golden wish fish, and and just realize them. And it starts in imagination. Reality is born first in imagination, right? Thought, and then in the digital or in the real world. But this is how it starts. Um, any story maybe you want to share in regards of the gift, or an activity that you
Yeah, 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 I think again, like in the same digital garden space,
mhm,
I share a gift. So I share a story. So this story, it comes from like all stories from the ancient time, from the myth time. And it's I think a Maya story, Central American, and the one that tells it in the video that I link there is Michael Mead,
uh,
who is a storyteller, and yeah, and he is the mentor of my mentor, who is Hector Aristizabal, that I also share his work there. And Hector, I heard the story from Hector several times that he would use that story
yeah,
in the workshops, and he would use that story specifically to speak about the gift.
mm,
And I told that story a few times in workshops. Also, my partner Ilaria, with her, I've worked many times, have shared the story, and we all share the story in a new version. So Hector has a version that he tells,
yeah,
that came from Michael Mead, but then it's a new version,
yeah.
and then Ilaria has her version,
So what's your
and
version?
What's my version? So I'll tell the summarized version. I don't have the drum here, but you can kind of imagine the drum
You,
as
you
a
can do it on your belly or your feet.
yes, I can do it on the table. I don't know if you hear that. Also, Zoom is a really bad sound cancellation for noises, but you can imagine that we are around the fire and there is people drumming and we're listening to a story. And a story, I like to say, sometimes I tell Dreamtime stories from Aboriginal people. So when Aboriginal people of Australia tell a story, they use a time tense that is not the past, that it's not the present, that it's not the future. They have like a way of speaking, which is all the times together. So when you think it's not once upon a time, it was once upon a time and now and in the future. So in every time, and so in every time there was a village. And in this, every time there was a village that could have been any village. There was born a boy, but there could be any boy, or it could be any girl, because the story doesn't mind if it's a boy or a girl. She was born into this family. And in the village that was the large family of the boy, of the girl, everybody came around the hut to listen, to hear the baby born. And everybody was very excited. And then it came, everybody were looking, oh, they has the eyes of the mother and the nose of the grandmother and the fingers of and everybody commented. And nobody was seeing beside one older lady, nobody was, that was the midwife, the one that brings the baby. No one was seeing the gift. And the gift was a sign. The sign was in the sign of a container for water and a cloak. And this sign, the midwife, she kept it because nobody else was noticing that. And so the boy or the girl were growing in this village and playing and learning, all the boys and the girls. And one day, the midwife decided that it's time to share with the gift, the message. And so she found the boy and the girl up in the tree, and she would say, come down here. I have something to share." And said, "Oh, I don't want anything. It's okay. I'm playing." Said, "I have a gift for you." "Oh, a gift. That's nice. Is it like a book or a PlayStation or some kind of chocolate? I love chocolates." I said, "No, no, calm down. Come." So he really liked the midwife, so came down, and the midwife was very serious and say, "You know, when you were born with a gift, and there was this sign." So like, "What are you talking about?" "You had a sign, and in the sign it says that you have this gift, and so you need to take this gift now, and you need to go to the big mountain and to learn about your gift."
To be continued.
Yes. And in this moment,
Okay.
when we tell a story, it's like, what happens in your story? What happens in your imagination? So do you think the boy or the girl, they would go to the mountain, or would they
Yes.
stay?
Yes, of course they go. We all want to go on an
We
adventure.
want to go.
Climb up the mountain, nature, have fun, yeah.
And what do you think the gift is?
The gift is courage, friendship, um, kindness, family. Like you come back, you know, you have people that love you and you love them. All these qualities we have in us, you know, that make us humane, divine. You know, going up the mountain, reaching out our, you know, higher self, connecting to, you know, to the whole universe, understanding something that we are part of nature and part of our community, and we are there, like in my core, in my makor in Hebrew, you say, I am the whole humanity. And I am also like the fact, as being conscious that the universe is conscious. That's how I see it. This is amazing, Uri. Thank you for your
So,
beautiful.
everything you just said, you are describing your gift.
Yes.
And the beauty, and the story has a second part, and it has more difficult parts afterwards. But in the essence, when we tell this story, the goal of the story is always not to tell the story, but for people to find in the story some information about their gifts.
I love it. I love it. Actually, I also, I'm a storyteller. I make stories as a writer, and I always finish them with wait, wait, wait. Is this how you want the story to end? And then everybody says no. And then I tell them, okay, now you tell me how each one of you want the story to end. And then this is where everyone flies in imagination. And it's so beautiful, because it just shows that, you could say, oh, life is a trauma. You see what happened? He was swollen by the crocodile, or by the lion, or by time, right? Which all these actually like present time. Or you could say, oh, life is a challenge, right? Challenge 18. But then you could say, hey, Uri, life is love, right? So I like, I think we all like storytelling and stories and the play. Where is the play that you bring into the story? Is there any activity that relates to the gift, or maybe you want to share what comes after the gift, like just whatever you feel you want to share?
So, so the play, and in English, the play means a lot of things. The play means to play games. It's also the play in theater. It's also the button on play and pause, which is, so there is a lot of play. I think the play is when we activate the imagination in movement also in the workshop. So we also then take shapes. We also move, we embody, we don't just stay in the listening or the telling, but we're moving into the body. And the reason we move into the body is that the body is the vessel, is our vessel, is our car in the world. And it also has knowledge, it has memory, it has possibility. And as long as we are remaining in the mind, our possibility of implementing the great ideas is very limited. When we involve the body, we can bring much more in terms of rewiring, because many times we need to rewire our beliefs, our worldview, or at least I have had the pleasure or the distress of having to rewire myself. And it has to do with the gift, and it also has to do with the other steps, which is the wound. So we grow with our gift, and then the gift many times is not seen by others, or it's being hidden, or we move through trauma or challenge, or something is happening in which the gift is lost, or being challenged or not seen, which is very often today. We don't see the gifts in young people. Um,
So let
and
me ask
this,
you. Let me
yeah.
ask you. I'm curious. We talk about the gift, and what's your gift?
Yeah, so so it's what I said before is imagination, and inviting people to imagination. I feel also my gift is also the things that you mentioned. Like I feel I am loyal, and I have courage to take action when things seems improbable. So I'm someone that steps forward. I'm a pioneer, and I take a responsibility even in weird situations. I think this is our all gifts, and I'm creative in the sense that I try new things without knowing anything about them. And
So,
so
like, do you need to have a wound to find your gift, or I mean, some people just find it and they stay with it, and maybe you can give examples of people that you know. I mean,
yeah, so in this journey of the gift, the wound usually comes. It's difficult in general that you don't have some trauma, and trauma is part of the process. It's
mhm,
not the gift comes before. The gift is there. The wound is something that has happened to you, or even sometimes in previous lives that uh, is preventing you for reaching out to the full potential of the gift. But then something happens again, and this is the medicine. So within the wound, within the pain, there is a possibility of how to recover something and reconnect with the gift. And that's the medicine. And the medicine, again, it is not exactly the gift, but it is the reconnection with the gift. It is the possibility
mhm,
of giving for others what you need for yourself. It's a interesting story, but like because we can only heal ourselves, but we can only heal ourselves with others, and we can only heal ourselves with others when we are able to find the medicine in our wound and to activate our gift. And in that way, we regenerate, we get back from the community what we are missing, so we can be seen in our gifts, which is essentially what we want. We basically want to be seen and recognized and cherished by others, because that's how we build
yeah,
our own sense of integrity as a
mhm,
part of a community, because we are social animals.
and sense of meaning.
Absolutely. A sense of
That's
meaning, a
that's
sense.
that's the gift. That's the sense of meaning is when you actually have found your gift, that you're already at this stage of enlightenment, that you know that by giving others, you are you are connected to your gift, to your sense of purpose, and you just don't need to explain, and you just understand it all. And this is
Yeah, and
powerful.
and it's also about finding your place in a way that you are accepted, uh, you know, in good or bad. It's like a marriage, or no, I didn't get married, but this idea that the community, you are able to be seen also not just in your good qualities, but also in your whole self, also in your weakness,
Mm,
and you are held within that. And that goes to the last stage, which is the dream. The dream is about both realization of my gift and medicine in a larger way, so scaling my self-realization into a mission, a
yeah,
purpose, but it's also the collective dream. And many times when we arrive to the dream, we see that there are personal dreams, but the personal dream is actually a collective dream. And we dream this possibility of returning collectively to a place where people are seen for their gifts, where we are healing ourselves together, where we are able to flourish, really flourish, live in abundance.
yeah. Well, that's amazing. I like a saying that says life is a dream, and dreams are also dreams. And I mean, it all goes back to heaven, paradise, Gan Eden, paradise, Pades. Pades has four hidden meanings: Shat, Remez, Drash, Sod. So like there is a secret for us to reveal, uncover, discover, recover. You know, recover is to heal. So actually, like as you mentioned, there are four stages, right? That we go through in these, in the garden or climbing up the mountain. So one is understanding that we are all born with a gift, with this genius, unique thing for ourselves. Then the wound, like maybe to really and I know it from my own experience. You really have to go through like a very traumatic event to just really just realize your gift and reveal yourself, like say publishing books, or making toys and games. Um, and it's a process. It can just repeat itself over and over. And then the again, like when there is a wound, the third part is the medicine. Okay, medicine. Like I'd like you to elaborate more on this. I mean, it could be our social connections. It could be now our environment. Say we choose to live in next, in nature. So it heals us, heals our soul. You know, uh, changing not just environment, the people that we are with. It's that help us just believe in ourselves, and the mindset, right? That's like the three components as a medicine that as I see. And then the dream, right? A dream, we dream together becomes a reality. Yes, Uri?
Yes, yes. And yeah, maybe I can say more about the medicine. So the medicine in a way, and this comes from the work of Hector and his book, The Blessing Next to the Wound, or speaking about the medicine in the wound. So many times the medicine actually comes from the trauma, from the wound itself. It's our way of coming out. But
Yeah.
within the process of coming out from the wound, we acquire some skill, some new elaboration of our gift that we can offer to others and to heal ourselves. So for me, it was definitely theater. It was definitely my work is become a medicine from my experience in the army and my experience of the trauma, different multiple collective trauma that I've went through. I found theater and I found the body, the embodiment, the dance as a medicine. And through that medicine and also being able to give this medicine to others or to be someone supporting people in their journey, it is something that is both connected with my wound, but is also connected with my dream as well, the purpose. So there is a bridge between the wound, the trauma, and the dream, the future.
Yeah. So the dream, you also mean about dreams we dream when we sleep. Am I correct? That
Yes, yes, it's the dream that we sleep. So I one of the methodologies that I follow is dragon dreaming. It comes from Aboriginal people of Australia and other influences. Um, and in that practice, we talk about our dreams or ideas as projects for the future, but we also share our night dreams.
Mhm.
And for indigenous Aboriginal people, dreams are very important. And when we share our dreams with other people in our community, something magical happens. So
Yeah.
I remember that we were 5 days doing a training of dragon dreaming, and every morning we would share our dreams in the morning. On the fourth or fifth day, people started to dream
Mhm.
the same dream, to visit each other in the dream. Two people that didn't know each other before, they dreamt the same dream that they are visiting each other in the dream.
How do you
So,
explain it? How do you explain this? I
I
can
think,
tell you. I can tell you that I have some dreams that I remember. Like when I went to Tzfat, I had like amazing dreams. So I don't know what's there or what, but how do you explain different people dreaming the same dream? Like,
yeah, it's our dreams are our subconscious, but our subconscious is not just our own. We live in a collective subconscious, and especially when we share our dreams, we start to connect our subconscious. It's already very collective, and we
wow,
always
how it
dream.
happens that we share our subconscious. This is beautiful. I want to better understand.
Well, we always share our subconscious, but we consciously share our subconscious. When we share dreams, we start to weave these invisible threads of what is happening in our subconscious,
Mhm.
and this weaving becomes more visible and clear. But we always live in each other's dreams, like we are a social being, we are a relational being. Our relationships define us, and our relationships are complex. They have different layers, and when we enter into this space of deep connection with someone, our dreams are not only our dreams. Like when my partner share her dreams, it can bring a message to me. And in indigenous communities, they would share the dreams, and especially women, after cycle, the dreams would consider sacred messages from the gods, from the creator, for the entire community. It is a message to the subconscious, not just for the individual, but mostly for everyone that is connected with that person, because it is again the subconscious, or the dreaming. Again, for Aboriginal people, the dreaming is also very important. It's a living myth. It's not a dead myth. It's a living myth. It's
Wow.
we're dreaming our ancestors, and the ancestors are dreaming us. So every moment is both dreamt and being read at the same time. There is no separation between dream and reality.
I know that soon AI could actually see our dreams. This is a new technology that now can reveal what is it that we dream of, and I also believe that it can also, a dream we dream together. It's about our collective consciousness, right? And as our consciousness grow and opens, then we unite, we better understand what is it that we are here in the world for. So we have less than 1 minute to be continued. Maybe last sentence, last word before we finish, Uri. And thank you so much for this. It was really super interesting.
Yeah.